Dum dum dum, brum 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 brum. Chapter 14, Book of Luke. On the Sabbath, he went to dine at the home of the leading Pharisees, and the people there who were observing him carefully. In front of him was a man suffering from dropsy. Jesus spoke to the lawyers or scholars of the law and Pharisees, implying asking him, "Is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not?" But they kept silent. So he took the. Oh, okay. So was it lawful to cure the man on the Sabbath or not? Because but they kept silent and took the mat, and he wants a definitive answer because now the Pharisees are giving up. In a sense, but they kept silent, and he took the man, and after he had healed him, dismissed him. Then he said to them, "Whom among you, if your son or ox falls into a cistern, would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day?" But they're unable to give the answer. He told the parable of those who have been invited, noticing how they're choosing the places of honor at the table. When you are invited by someone on a wedding banquet, do not recline at the table by the place of honor, a more distinguished guest than you may have been invited by him. And the host whom invited both of you may approach you and say, "Give your place to this man." Then you who will proceed of embarrassment take the lowest place. Rather, when you are invited, go and take the lowest place, so that when the host comes to you, he may say, "My friend, move up to a more higher position." Then you will enjoy the esteem of your companion. Then you will enjoy the companions at the table. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. Then he said to the host who invited him, "When you hold a lunch or dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or relatives or your wealthy neighbors, in case they may invite you back, and you have repayment. Rather, when you hold a banquet, invite the poor, rich, crippled, lame, and the blind. Blessed indeed will you because of their inability to repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." One of his fellow guests, on hearing this, has said to him, "Blessed is the one who will dine in the kingdom of God." Blessed indeed will you be righteous of the inability to repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. For one of his fellow guests, on hearing them, one of his fellow guests, on hearing this, said to him, "Blessed is the one who will dine in the kingdom of God." He replied to him, "A man gave a great dinner to which he invited many." When the time for this dinner came, he dispatched his servant to say to those invited, "Come, everything is now ready." But one by one, they all began to excuse themselves. The first said to him, "I have purchased a field and must go examine it." Wait. Oh, okay. Okay. He replied to him, a man gave a great dinner to which he invited many, but when the time for dinner came, he dispatched his servant to say to those invited, "Come, everything is now ready." But one by one they began to excuse themselves. For the first said to him, "I have purchased a field and must examine it. I ask you to consider me excused." Another said, "I have purchased 5 yoke of oxen, and on my way to evaluate them. I ask you consider me excused." Then another said, "I have just married a woman, and therefore I cannot come." The servant went and reported this to the master. Then the master of the house, in a rage, commanded his servant, quickly go out in the streets and alleys in the town, and bring in the poor and crippled, the blind and the lame." The servant reported, "Sir, your orders have been carried out, but there's still room." Then the master ordered the servant to go out into the highways and hedgerows, and make people come into my home that may be filled. For I tell you, none of those who are invited will taste my dinner. Great crowds were traveling with him, and he turned and addressed them. If anyone comes to me without hating his father, his mother, wife, and children, brothers and sisters, or even his own life cannot be my disciple. Also, you want me to hate my dad and my kids? What? Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Which of you wishing to construct a tower does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if there's enough for completion? Otherwise, after laying the foundation and finding himself unable to finish the work, the onlookers should laugh at him. Otherwise, after laying the foundation and finding himself unable to finish the work, the onlookers should laugh at him and say, "This one began to build but did not have the resources to finish." Or what king marching in battle would not first sit down and decide whether with 10,000 troops he could successfully oppose another king advancing upon him with 20,000 troops? If not, while he is still far away, he will send a delegation to ask for peace terms. In the same way, every one of you who does not renounce all of his possessions cannot be my disciple. In the same way, everyone of you who does not renounce all of his possessions cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if salt itself loses its taste, with what can its flavor be restored? It is neither fit for the soil, nor for the manure pile. It is thrown out. Whoever has ears to hear ought to hear. Okay, so some of that was from the other two books as well. Some of them was actually, again, as with the other chapters, some of them have been added on. Again, with the different disciples, they might notice something else different. Jesus had a lot of things, and the power of the four completes the quadrary. Okay, go to chapter 15. It's been exhausting. This has been one exhausting day. Lots of theological speaking. Thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. Thanks you.